Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Sidecar Spin. Today I will be speaking with Rocky Warren. So Rocky's been involved in the sport for many years. He's been a volunteer, he was the former president of the ASA, he's raced all over Australia and in different disciplines of sidecar. Today we have a little chat about the Selix Beach races, the reliability trials, motocross, and a couple of funny stories in there as well. So make sure you tune in and have a listen. Let's go. All right. So Rocky, welcome to the Sidecar Spin podcast. How are you?
I'm just dandy, thanks, Tasha. No, going really well, and thanks for contacting me. I really appreciate it.
No, that's awesome. Thank you for having a chat with me. Lots of people have suggested you, so yeah.
Goodness me, I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll have a look.
You must have some funny stories to tell.
Dear. Well, we've had a lot of times, good times with it. So it's been fabulous.
Well, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into sidecars?
Oh, wow. So what am I? I'm in my 60s now, so I've been involved for a long time. So I guess my blood's come back from the UK, where my uncles, both heavily involved in motocross and sidecar motocross in the UK, both being sidecar passengers and both winning British sidecar motocross championships in their day, being Roger and Christopher Warren, and then Roger has continued on and being a very prominent commentator of motocross events over there, and of course, Chris being the FIM steward for many years until he just retired, FIM motocross steward, doing all the events and running the Ken Hall Trophy over there, and for many years. So very well known in England and throughout Europe and the motocross scene, both of them. Yeah, so then I then started, when I came out, started racing when I was, when I was 10, I started racing, and then straight away got that addiction for the sidecars as a young bloke, and then when I started working and earning some good money as a copper, I started off with doing the road trial series, which was fabulous, and did the road trial series for many years, and got involved in the motocross, and then got in contact with what was then the classic sidecar register, and with Mick Dowling and the boys there, and then the rest is history. From there, we developed from just classic sidecars to encompass the modern stuff, and that's where we've run through. So I've raced all the way through them, mainly the classic sidecars. I love the Wasps and the EMLs and the pre-75 and pre-85, and obviously the 65 class. But been involved for many years, and still riding sidecars. So riding on Saturday at Selix as well, which is really exciting. So
cool.
Done that a few times, so that's been good.
Yep. No, I'm heading out there. I was supposed to jump on with a guy from Queensland, but the parts for his bike weren't back, so we missed out, unfortunately,
which
is a bugger because it's on my bucket list. I remember going out there when I was a little kid and watching it. It'd be pretty awesome to be out there on the sand, I reckon.
Oh, it's just great fun. It's nothing like the motocross we do, but on all the speedway and stuff like that I do. But it's just a huge festival. It's great fun, and if you can get hold of a pre-1963 sidecar and work on it, it's the best thing you'll ever do. You'll absolutely love it.
Yeah. So your current situation. So that's what you're doing then. Are you just doing the beach races?
I'm the president of Motorcycling South Australia, so MSA, I'm the president there now, and that takes up an awful lot of time. We unfortunately got involved in the floods of the River Murray, which destroyed our house and my sheds, and so we had to get I've got over 30 bikes and a heap of classic vehicles, and so we had to get everything out and then fix everything. So for the last 2 years I haven't ridden anything because trying to rebuild the house and the sheds and get everything back in. So I was able to get a bit of a remnants of a shed going this time and get one of the old classics out ready for Selix. So this is actually my first ride for over 2 years now in anger on a motor. Well, I've hardly ridden any motorcycles for the last 2 years because we just haven't been able to. So we're back in it. But
that's awesome to hear. That's great.
Yeah, it was fabulous. So once we get back in, I'll get back into the. So I'm mainly predominantly on the road racing and speedway stuff now, sidecars now, and the motocross stuff has had a fairly bad accident there for a while and broke my back and my ribs and lungs and all that sort of stuff, which slowed me down. So I'm doing the stuff that's a little bit easier on the body now.
So have you done Selix? You've done Selix before?
Yeah. I've done, I think, It's the fourth one I've done. So
Oh, okay.
it's great fun. It really is good fun. And it's
Yep.
it's just this massive festival, and it's just you got over 1,500, 2,000 spectators alongside, and then it's just like a reunion, or you just get to catch up with everybody who's usually there.
Yeah.
And just watching some of the races, even the solo guys, is just great fun. It's a really good festival.
Do you get many sidecars?
I think we got 14 overall, which is
Oh,
fabulous.
okay. Yep.
Which are all pre-1963s, don't forget. So
Yeah. Yeah.
to think that you've got all those pre-1963 sidecars out there, and then so we can manage to get 14 of them to go down the beach, which is just awesome. It's and they're all from all over the state, which is all over Australia, which is good. And we've got competitors from Queensland, New South Wales, I think Victoria, and
Yep.
obviously South Australia and Western Australia. So it's good.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So, what would you say would be your most memorable moment? So, like in your racing career?
Probably my two Aussie titles I won. So I won the pre-85 and the pre-75
Yep.
Australian titles a few years apart, and I guess they were good. The most important one that means probably the most to me was finishing the 24-hour trial with my daughter on the sidecar, and we won our class as well, which was good, and
Yep.
it was just hard ride, and
Yep.
just to finish, I think we're the first father and daughter team to finish on a sidecar was pretty memorable, and that
Yeah,
was back in
that's cool.
2010. So
Yep.
it's that always holds the dearest in my heart, I think.
Yeah. And does your daughter swing?
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Yeah.
Courtney
So,
was swinging for Greg Anthony for a few years there until the inevitable happened, and she had baby, and
Yep.
then she had to retire a bit, and but now she's got the urge back in again. So she was racing A-grade motocross for about 4 years. So she obviously started as the juniors, and
Yep.
they were Luke Leasing, and then stepped up and got on board with a couple of the other lads, and then Greg grabbed her and said, "Hey, come on board," and shot around in that Zabel for, I think they were together for about 3-4 years, which was excellent. And she had a
Yeah.
boy, and they did really well. I think they got second in the Aussie titles, I think, at one stage. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool for a chick. So she was pretty good, really, really good. But I don't like to give her too much praise.
So does she doesn't jump on with you anymore?
Um, I guess just now. So she's just her son's now just 2 years old now. So he's interested. Obviously, I've got him some sidecars now, getting him involved,
Yeah.
and she's now got the urge to get back on. She's coming down to Selix to have a look, which is great. It's the first time she's been down to an event for a long time, and I'm sure when she sees them buzzing around there, she'll put her hand up for one of the sidecars in the next Selix, and
Yeah.
I know it wouldn't take too much to get on the sidecar as a passenger, because it's hard for me to say, but she's my daughter, and she was pretty good at one stage. Something pretty fit, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she'll have a crack.
Yeah.
But she
No,
doesn't like the
awesome.
old stuff. She didn't like getting on with the old boys, the classic bikes.
So how was it doing the 24 with your daughter? Like, did you guys have your moments?
Oh, absolutely. So I've done a fair few with blokes,
Yep.
and got pretty close. This was the first 24 I've ever finished on a sidecar
Yep.
out of about 8 or 9 attempts, and to do it with your daughter was pretty cool. And we had our moments, but I remember the last lap. I told her, I said, "Look, you'll be all right. You come out after breakfast after the last lap, and it'll be daylight, so then you'll be good as gone." Of course, when we came out, it was still black, and
Oh no.
she lost her shit a bit then. But
You tricked me.
she figured out I'd been lying to her, but no, it was good. It was look, it was tough. It was really, and it was. Yeah, I've got my own views about some of the tracks there, and they're certainly made there for the experts, but they need to understand there's a lot of beginners there that also want to ride around. But that's not.
Yeah.
It's not for me to progress on. I don't think it's because I can only be criticised because the numbers are showing that it's extremely popular road trials now. So I think I could certainly be bowed down a bit with my opinions if I aired them. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I've just bought my own sidecar and I'm just going to practice in motocross until I get confident enough to be able to ride in the road trials. But I've been a passenger in the road trials, so yeah,
Yeah, I
some
saw
of
that.
the stuff is very scary.
It's tough. It's hard. It's especially the speed of these lads are going now is just crazy. I don't know how they can go that quick.
Yeah,
And non-stop. Just don't button up. I'm an avid watcher, and I go out there and watch a lot of 24s and stuff, and road trials, and just to see the speed some of these lads are doing Archie boys and the Beckman boys and
Yeah.
Crash and them. They are just flying. It's just amazing how quick they go. So yeah, it's good. It's fabulous. It's excellent. Really, really good. And it's really promising.
I heard a rumor that you tried. Did you try and do it on a postie scooter?
Yeah, no, I did it. I rode on a postie scooter to raise money for. So I had a dear friend who lost a child to cancer. So I
Yeah.
said this was that was. When was that? That was wow. That was a long time ago. And so I said, you know what, I'll try and raise some money for canteen. So I went and bought a postie scooter and set it up for the 24-hour trial and raised I think about $14,000. I
Oh
think it was
wow.
from right and it was just pouring. It was pissing down the whole time. I fell off more times on the road sections than I did in the competitive sections. But
Oh
I mean
wow.
that's not. Even though me, I'm no good on two wheels, so it doesn't surprise anybody that I was poor off that many times.
So did you make it?
To the first section on the last lap, yeah, and then it destroyed itself. So
Oh
I
no.
just lost all lights, which I wasn't too sad about, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But it was good. So after the event, I had a silent auction for the bike as well. So I sold that off, and that added to the money that we gave to canteen with the kids
Yeah.
with cancer, which is fabulous.
So what do you think would be one of your wildest moments? Like, I don't know,
Um,
something pretty crazy that's happened racing or
yeah, it's just accidents, I guess. The accidents and when you talk wild, it's just the accident I had at Gilman where I did break my back and my ribs and I punctured my lungs and everything. And
yeah.
you know when your ignition lets go and you're just going flat out down the back straight and all of a sudden throws you and the bike's landing and that's probably my wildest and it took a fair bit out of me. It really did take a fair bit out of me. But yeah, I've raced an awful lot of motocross and road trials and speedway sidecars and now road racing sidecars and I'm just addicted. So I'm too
Yeah.
old to retire, so I'll just keep riding until I die, I guess.
Yeah.
Until it kills me or something kills me. But it's the passion is just immense. And as you know, Natasha, you clearly got the addiction, and
Yeah.
it's a horrible thing. It just addicts. It gets you and it gives you that addiction, and you just keep spending money.
Yeah, you can't really escape. You just
No, you
have to
can't.
do
But it's
it.
good. Yeah, you've got to have a crack at it. So, well, good on you.
So you said you won some Australian titles. Where was that? What was that about?
Yeah, so I won the pre-85 title at Crystal Brook.
Yep.
So that was, I think it was in 2010, I think it was. And that was an event which was really, really well promoted, and you probably heard of him. Walter Presick was claiming the fame that he hadn't been beaten for years, and
Oh, okay. Yep.
and then we went out and kicked his ass, and he went home on a Saturday and sooked a fair bit, and so that was a pretty good one to win. And then the pre-75 one was we were up against some really, really good classes, and Greg riders, and they all had a couple of them had bike problems, and we just kept going through, and we won on points by about 3 points. Won the pre-75. That was I think it was about four or 5 years later. So
Yep.
they're on the one Aussie title on the pre-68, pre-75, and pre-85 sidecars at different times.
Yep. Wow, that's
They're
cool.
good buzz. Yeah, that's good. But it's just I guess the friendships is the best thing. It's the camaraderie and the friendships you make, and certainly with the sidecar people is something pretty special. And it doesn't matter whether it's in South Australia, what state or what country. I think it's all the same. They all stick together, they're all mates, and yeah, it's a cool part of life. So I really enjoy it.
There is definitely something about it. Like I've done lots of other sports and I haven't found anyone to be as friendly and as inviting and inclusive as the sidecars.
Yeah, and I think, Natasha, if you get that opportunity, have a crack on the speedway sidecar and also the road racing sidecar, because you'll see nothing changes. It's just the competition. It's just the discipline. But most importantly is the thrill and the adrenaline is all the same, and the people are all the same. It doesn't matter who they are; they're all the same. It's in the early days, don't forget, I was a copper, and I was racing against other blokes who probably didn't like coppers so much, but they never ever held anything against you. So it just shows the calibre of people racing sidecars and in motorcycling itself.
Yeah, well, everyone sort of has that common interest, so whatever else goes on in the background, no one really gives a crap.
Yeah, well, it's not usually the case, but it's certainly that's what I found it to be. I really did find it. It's a good mob of people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've done the motocross, the reliability trials, and I did do the Colin Grove hill climb.
That's good fun. It's a bit of a
Yeah,
script.
I
You
did
just want
that
to keep
with
going,
Rob,
though. Yeah, yes,
and
yes.
the guys I met there were really nice too. Like I got leathers lent to me, and like everyone was real nice and helpful, and yeah, it was really
Oh,
cool.
look, and even the road racing is. You get on there and you just cannot believe the amount of G forces and
Yeah,
the hard work it is for road racing, and they're always looking for passengers to road races. So
yeah, no,
especially if you get on a Beck or a Boglioli and a few of those girls
yeah,
there, and Sam, they're just cool. They'll tell you how cool it is too. So, and the speedway is just as much fun as always,
yeah,
especially the classic speedway. There's always someone looking for passengers. So
yeah.
yeah, just stick your nose in there. They'll give you a crack. They'll give you a crack at it. They really will.
Yeah, yeah. Now I've had a couple of people say about going on the speedway ones. I was like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, I should have a turn.
yeah, you should. Yes. Especially start with the classics because
Yeah,
you're not going so hard. You're not so much pressures on you, and
yeah,
they're usually ex-modern riders who are all just kind of slowing down a bit and just looking for passengers, and that's a really good. Excuse me, fraternity is the classics. They're really
yeah,
in the speedway. They're really good.
yeah. So, what would you think? What do you think's been the most challenging tracks that you've done?
Challenging tracks. I guess I remember Ballarat was Echo Valley. That was no, that's up at Toowoomba. Ballarat track.
Yeah,
That was just hard yakka. And then we went up where the Sidecar Spectacular up at Toowoomba at Echo Valley, and
yeah,
that's my most memorable one. That's just a gorgeous track, incredible
yeah,
track. Got this massive hill up the back and come down and some drop offs, and um, so I guess I reckon Toowoomba would probably be my Echo Valley up the top there. That's a great track, and if you ever
yeah,
get an opportunity to have a crack on that on the Sidecar, you'll never ever forget it. And when we rode it, it was really, really wet. So it was a challenge getting up the hill at some stage, and we had to cut the hill out a few times. But that's, I reckon, for a sidecar, that's probably the best one and best one in Australia, I think. Yeah, and that's probably the closest one you'll get to European tracks too,
yeah,
Echo Valley. So it's a natural terrain in the middle of a rainforest, and it's hard. It can be really, really challenging.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think they do occasionally do sidecar races up there, but I think it's only the classics.
Yeah, those Queensland lads, they're really passionate up there, and Vaughan and a few of those lads, and
Yeah,
they try and get to as many events as they can up there, but unfortunately they don't have numbers. You see, classics up until about 6 years ago were huge numbers, huge numbers,
yeah,
and there's so many classic bikes out there, but yeah, the competition just faded away. I think with the classics, so we lost a little bit of focus on the classics,
yeah,
and it's sad when you look at what we've got now with the Australian Sidecar Cross Association. They started from the classic sidecar register, and we had a few battles to get the moderns involved and the juniors involved, and we got through that, changed the name, and now to see the numbers of classics racing, certainly in South Australia, are diminished. But look, you know what? It's also positive when you see there were some really good numbers in the recent Aussie titles up at Port Pirie
yeah,
in both classes, which was really in one of the classes, so which is great.
yeah, yeah. I raced in those ones, and I got to go
Yeah.
on an old Norton Wasp
Oh yeah,
with
well, Rick
Nick
Hicks did you?
Nick
Yeah,
Higgs from
Nick,
Queensland.
yeah, Ripper lad.
Oh, it was such a cool experience. Just hear like just having it start up, standing on it. It was just like, whoa, this is so cool to be able to be on such a cool bike. And when we took off, it vibrated so much that my eyes were vibrating and I couldn't even see the first corner. I had to wait for my eyes to adjust so I could see.
And Nick would have looked after. He's not,
Yeah,
he's a ripper lad and can ride. He was a really, really good rider when I used to watch him. So
yeah,
very competitive, and that Norton used to go like hell, which was fabulous.
yeah. No, it was awesome. It was such a cool experience. Like I was just stoked that I got to experience
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It was awesome. Like, how much do you think that sport has changed since back in the day when you first started?
Oh, I think not so much the sport. It's just I don't think sports changed any. It's the competition and it's really hard to understand. Like we held sidecar spectaculars at Morgan, and we had over 110 sidecars. That's including classics.
Yeah,
Um, so the popularity really was huge then, but it diminished before that. So it goes in these waves.
Yeah.
And even in the time that I've been involved, the road trials died off, and now it's really popular, and the motocross has kind of died off, and so I guess haven't really seen too many changes. Obviously, the machines have made a huge difference, and
Yeah.
there's some really, really good competitive modern bikes out there, but I think just the popularity and the waves. So we were having massive events with big numbers in South Australia, it just worries me a bit, and I always do worry about the Australian Sidecar Cross Association and existing, and we've got my own views on how they can probably move forward a little bit more, but it's up to them. But look, at the end of the day, I don't think the sport's changed so much. It's just the popularity of numbers. So it's and it just goes from one discipline to another, from road trials to speedway to. But don't forget, South Australia in Australia is probably the centre of the universe for Australia for sidecars. So the numbers here are pretty good.
Haven't been getting many numbers for motocross lately, but the reliability trials, there's always like 30, 40 sidecars.
Yeah. I think you're in the right direction, heading in the right direction by just having that race your mates, where you just do a few laps, or do 3 or 4 laps, because a lot of people can't do much more than that, and they're not interested in doing any more than that. And so that's the sort of stuff that you really need to try and push, and just the easier events, the shorter, easier events, are making it really attractive for them, because, to be quite honest, all us older farts and people with older bikes, we just get knocked around and don't want to ride those longer races and bigger races. So that's the opportunity to go, I think.
Yeah, well, that's what I had to go, because I bought my sidecar and I only had it for 4 days and I'd never ridden one before, and I was like, stuff it, let's go to the Murray Williams Cup and I'll just ride it in the Race Your Mates. Made my husband get on the side. He'd never swung on a sidecar before. I was like, let's go.
He would have died.
He did. He made it 2 races and then he was like, oh my God, because he had tennis elbow and he was already struggling. And we made 2 races before he was like, nah, I'm not going anymore.
Well, he's better than me. I would have probably lasted one. I don't know how the passengers do it. I really don't.
But yeah, the Race of Mates was a really good opportunity for me to have a go with no experience riding at all. And like, it was just chilled out. And it was like 3 or 4 laps and there was no pressure, and it was good.
And that's what I need to do, Natasha, just try and get those people back on it, because there's plenty of bikes out there that people can ride or buy or sell. And I mean, don't forget, a lot of people have paid big bucks for some of these classic bikes, and they're not prepared to sell them for cheap money now, because they've got a big investment. So they'd rather just leave them in the shed until the popularity gets up and they can get something near what they paid for it before. But I think it'll turn around. It just goes in waves, so things will turn around.
Yeah. So who were your biggest influences when you first started?
I guess my biggest influence was a bloke by the name of Dave Dyson. So Dave Dyson and Clary Jeske and a few of those were absolute legends in the sport way back in the 60s. And then I remember going to watch them race, and we're doing the Heck Henderson and that sort of stuff. And then getting involved with the classic sidecars, and obviously with Murray Williams still riding. And then the mateship and friendship I've developed with Don Robinson is in the forefront, I think. So the 3 probably most influential names, other than my uncles from England, has been Dave Dyson, and then Murray Williams, and then obviously John Robinson, who all today seem are still really close to me, and they influenced certainly the directions I went. I didn't want to go modern with Robbo, but Robbo could always see how we had to develop our sport, and we had our ideas. And as you know, I was president for a long time with the ASA, and he was a really good steward and supporter, and taught me an awful lot. Absolutely taught me a lot in riding and the ability.
Yeah. So you were the president of the ASA for a while, yeah?
Oh yeah, I think about 13 years.
Wow.
I'm a life member and all that. So yeah. So I was the inaugural president, and then for many years, and then handed the reins over to Rick, and then obviously from Rick it went over to Norm, I think it did. So So I think 13 years I was president of MSA of ASA, and then I took over from Mick Dowling when it was the Classic Sidecar Register.
Yeah.
and right up until about 4 or 5 years ago, I think that's when I had that big accident and just stood down as president.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
was
long
cool.
time
So,
to be volunteering as the
well,
president.
but it's just never mind. I'm president of 2 other motorcycle clubs as well,
Yep.
and it's if it's in your blood, you want to do it, you don't mind doing it. So as long as I
Yeah.
can keep riding, as long as I can do it, keep riding, and that's been my frustration the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Just haven't been able to
So
the
are
rebuild of the floods.
you're all healed up and stuff from your accident?
Oh yeah, the body's all right. It's just getting a bit fatter now because I haven't ridden much. I just couldn't access bikes because they were all stored away after the
Yep.
floods, and I couldn't access all my tools and my sheds and everything. So it's only been the accessibility and priorities is to rebuild the house, and hopefully we'll be moving in it. I mean, the floods were 2.5 years ago,
Yeah.
and we're still living in a shed and in a motorhome
Yeah.
until we fix the house. So hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks we might be moving back in the house, and I'll be back working on bikes and back out riding sidecars again.
What do you reckon would be one of your funniest moments? I'm sure you've got some funny stories to tell.
Oh, without a doubt, I shit myself on the start line at Tea Tree Gully once
Oh,
because I
no.
could have got on the booze too much with the boys that night before with the red wine.
Oh, no.
And I did a little bit of love puff, and they went wet. And I said to Parksy, my passenger, Parksy, I've got to go. And he knew exactly where I was going, and they were holding the race up for me. God bless them. I said, no, just go. This isn't going to end well. So I went and did my business, and we were a lap down and popped back on the sidecar, and I think we finished second to last overall, which was good. But and then I obviously had to go and get changed. So I guess. Well, see, back in those days, it was fun.
Yeah.
That's when they were allowed to have tyres on the side of the roads, and we'd be chasing Glenn Wunderberg in our class and others, and the passengers would be picking up tyres and throwing them back at each other, and I just thought it just had so much fun. It was, we were serious, but we also had that fun side of it. But that was
suppose
probably the most memorable one.
the rules probably weren't as strict back then either.
Oh.
Or no one cared.
Well, we just had respect for each other. We knew. We've been, as you know, we raced each other for many, many years, and you respected each other. You knew no one was going to come in and take you out or hit you or slam you.
Yeah.
And that does occur now. I see. And historic motocross was always unwritten rules. You never hit someone deliberately. You never took people out deliberately, and those rules just haven't followed up in recent times, which is a shame, which makes it a little bit more dangerous, a bit more challenging. But that's up to the stewards and clerks of the course to sort that out. And maybe sometimes the riders might get a bit grumpy and sort it out themselves as well.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anyone have a fight on the track or anything?
Well, I might have been involved a couple of times.
You? What happened?
I'd rather not say, but competitors' parents are biggest problem sometimes with big mouths. So
Yeah.
But look, it's and I'm not. You know what? Am I proud of that? Absolutely not. No, it's should never. But but it's like you're full of adrenaline, and someone has a crack at you, and that's exactly right. So certainly not proud of it, and certainly not. Certainly not something I want to do again or get involved in again.
Yeah. Key skills to be successful as a sidecar racer.
Oh, I think fitness is number one.
Yeah.
If you're not fit, doesn't matter how good you can ride.
Yeah.
I mean, many times you see that they'll go out and they'll lead for a lap and then they'll die on the arse. So I think fitness, and you look at someone like Brian Anthony and those lads that just train their guts out.
Yeah.
And they've got ability, a lot more ability than a lot of us have got, but you can have all the ability in the world, but if you're not fit, you're not going to last. Certainly some of these big events. So I think number one key is fitness. And once you're fit, then you actually start improving because you're not struggling your body. You're learning how to ride and how to compete. So I think number one key is fitness.
Yeah.
And there's no secret to it. You've got to be super fit with a sidecar motocross.
Yeah, and Brian actually said the same thing when I spoke to him, and because as soon as you're gassed, you can't think, you can't hold on, everything goes to crap.
That's exactly right, and you just can't concentrate on anything else except the way you're feeling. It's your body takes it over, and so fitness, I think, is the number one, and then you'll develop some ability if you've got some. If you've got the ability in the first place, as I said, without being fit, you're not you won't achieve what you're capable of.
So what advice would you give to anyone new wanting to have a go?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, people got to understand. They've got to understand their abilities and not differentiate with their intentions. So you get a sidecar, and people think it's going to be easy. And all I say to them is, don't even worry about getting on that track until you've had some experience. You know how these things handle, and just get out and ride in the paddock somewhere. Learn how to stage, because the ambitions and capabilities get confused, and and that's where people get hurt, and they get these big ambitions, and then because they haven't had the right intent to practice and get things right in the first place, they go and get hurt, and then they give it up. So
yeah. So you make sure you get some practice in.
without a doubt, without a doubt.
Yep. So you've got a few bikes.
I've got a few. Yeah.
What's your favourite? What's your favourite? What one's your go to that you just love?
I've got a bike called I'll never ever sell the bikes I won Australian titles on.
Yep.
But I've got a bike there which it's called the Cranwar, so Cranwar. So it's a really famous sidecar in England, and it was imported to Australia, and Russell Whittington had it for a while, and then I got it and restored it, and fitted what they call a Dyson bag motor, which is a Norton, converted to with a lot of other trick stuff on it, and it's had a few different motors in it, but it's just got so much history. Won many British championships. And if you actually Google it, there's been some real discussion. People asking where it is, and I see one of the Buckley boys said, they think someone in South Australia's got it. Well, I've got it, and that's and it's now my road racing Senex bike. So I actually won't be racing at Senex this year.
Yeah.
But I have in previous years. But we're just building a new motor for it now, and it just hasn't come through it today, so there's no point trying. But yeah, the Cranwar, Cranwar. If you Google it and have a look, it's got an awful lot of history.
Yeah, wow, cool. So what bike are you racing at Selex?
I've got my pre-68 motocrosser, which has got a BSA 650 in it. So we won one of the handicap races last 2 years ago with it.
Yep.
So we've done a little bit of extra, it's got little things with it, but it's just a matter with Selex is a matter of finishing, because there's always these quicker, big twins that you're never going to keep with. But that thing is built by Jeff Barron. It just handles, and what we lose down the straights, we make up with the cornering. It just, it's a motocross. It was set up for motocross as a pre 1968 motocross, which is, although it's a 1962 bike.
Yeah. And
it just handles. So that's what I'll be racing down there with a 650 twin in it.
Oh, cool. So racing on the sand on the beach, what's that like? Is it like completely different to racing on a motocross track?
Oh, most definitely, yeah. I mean, you go down when you're going up the beach on the land side, it gets rough, but it's all about the bike, because you just don't, because you're holding it flat for a mile, you don't want it nipping up, and the setups are so much different, the gearings are set up so much different, and then learning to brake. It's a lot like road racing. Learn to brake as late as you can on the sand, and then sliding, and then trying to avoid the ocean and stuff like that. So it's just fun, Natasha. It's not hard work. Yeah. It's not hard work. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's certainly not easy, but it's the bike setup is certainly a big part of it, and making sure it can handle it. It's just such an enjoyable event. I've never enjoyed an event as much as I do this event, the Selex Beach Race.
That's a big thing, to enjoy it that much out of everything that you've done.
Oh yeah, since like I started 1970, 78 on a Deltec mini bike with a lawnmower motor. It's and I can say Selex Beach is the greatest fun I've ever had on a motorcycle.
Now I'm even more sad that I'm missing out.
You'll get a chance. You'll get a chance.
Next time, hopefully.
You will. You'll let it go. Yep.
So, what does your family think of all this motorbike sidecar stuff? Are they all supportive and?
Oh, absolutely. My wife knew what she was marrying, a motorcycle with a sidecar nut.
Yep.
I remember having that conversation with her. So this is what I do, and if you're not, all I ask you to understand that I'm not going to stop it, and if you don't like it, don't. We're not going to get married, and
yep.
And then to have only one child, and it's a daughter, and I said, you know what's going to happen, don't you? And yep. And when she was when she was 4 years old, she was on the side of my wasp with me, helping me mark out road trials for the Satmac road trial, and she just got addicted as well. So
Yeah.
they've been and look, my wife Leanne, she was always on the finish line for ASA for I reckon good 10 years. Doesn't matter what weather it was, she was always either on the finish line or doing the scoring with Aaron Wedge and all those guys.
Yeah.
So she's always been involved. She's been the backbone behind me, and
Yeah.
she's copped a fair bit of motorcycling crap from me. But hey, she's been a ripper. Don't you worry about
Have
her.
you ever got her on the side with you?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
she has, yeah.
Yeah, and she doesn't like me. So we went down to Brett Dobie's one day for a practice and down at Narracourt, and I talked to her getting on the side, and some of the things she called me, you'd never heard it. And but she said she did it, and she was happy, and she did a lap of. If you ever get a chance, get down to the Dobies at Narracourt and ride their practice track, their home practice track is incredible fun. But she got on the side with me, but she certainly admires. She learned to admire her daughter and how good her daughter was on the side after she rode that event, rode down there. She got no intention. Even now, because we got big acreage here at Swan Reach where I live.
Yep.
And if I need to give one of the bikes a squirt up the big long driveway, I got a 600-metre driveway. He won't get on. He refused to get on with me.
Nah, she's like, done my turn. Never again.
She's just a bit soft, it's like, just a bit soft. She'll be fine. She'll get over it.
I'll edit that bit out for you.
No, she knows. She's got, look, and honestly, it's without those people in the background, and you might as well give up. It's we've travelled all over Australia with these sidecars, and she's always gone with me, and we've made a real family holiday. And we've never gone straight to a race. We've made a holiday if we're going to Queensland or Victoria or where New South Wales, wherever we've gone, we've always tried to make a bit of a holiday of it and make it part of the group. And we always invariably grab the sidecar passenger and their family, and where we go.
So, what are people's reactions when you tell people that you race sidecars? What's the normal reaction you get?
Most people think like sidecars are speedway, don't they?
Yeah.
When you explain to them what you do, the road race and the motocross and everything else, most people are really interested. So I think they go, "Well, what's it all about?" and try to explain it to them. But it's I think the important thing is like I've been working for people. I've got a job now which I've been doing now for 2 years, and I just said to them, "Look, I've got to head off to Sellex on the weekend, and I'm racing a sidecar. Do you race sidecars?" Not that I didn't know for 2 years because I don't tell people. But hey, at the end of the day, they're intrigued, they're interested, and want to know more about it. So we tell them, don't we? We try and promote the sport as much as we can.
Yeah. Yeah, I find a lot of people when you say to them, like, race sidecars, I think they just go straight to probably speedway sidecars.
Speedway, that's it.
And
that's
then
what they think.
When you show them, like, a motocross sidecar, they're like, what the hell is that thing? They're like, that goes around a motocross track. And like,
you do what with it? It does what?
Yeah.
How high does it go? And absolutely.
Yeah, people think you're insane.
Yeah. Well, no, not us. The silly buggers on the side that think it's insane. What could I do? I just wouldn't do it. I just would not do it. I've done it. I shouldn't say that, but not at the speed when you start seeing the guys that are doing it now, guys and girls are doing it now.
Yeah.
That's just insane.
Well, that's what makes me want to do it. Like, I enjoy being a passenger because it is crazy and I like doing crazy things.
Just got to get out there and get yourself absolutely super fit, and you will get better.
Yeah.
I know you will.
Yeah. No, the first couple of times I went on there, straight away I knew, I was like, you can't muck around, you've got to be fit, otherwise you're going to get hurt.
And what's the first thing they say to you? You got to relax. How the hell can you bloody relax on a sidecar? That's bullshit. So you guys just got to learn to try and do relax and enjoy the ride. But I don't know how you do it as a passenger. I can't relax. You can shove it up your ass. I'm not going to do it. Yeah.
You got to be strong but relaxed at the same time.
Absolutely, Natasha. Absolutely.
Yeah. So who do you reckon you've had your best battles with over the years?
I think. Let me just. Look. I honestly think I've only ever raced against him once, and it's a dislike between two of us. We just don't like each other, and it's Walter Precinct.
Yep.
And for some reason, so kicking his ass at the Australian titles was the greatest thing. To see him sooking and leaving halfway through day one was a big thing. But I've had heaps of rivals, especially with the classic, because we're all mates, you know. We lend each other bikes and stuff like that. And I think probably the biggest competitors we used to have was when Glenn Wunderberg and Shane Parks were racing together, and then one of these. Then we retired, so then I grabbed his passenger Shane Parks off him and rode with him for a long time as well. But we used to, some of the things the two of us used to, or the four of us used to get up to. My then passenger, bloke by the name of Shane Carley, just up laughed, and then Parksy on the side as well. We used to have so much fun. The rivalry was incredible, and every time we stopped, we raced. Shook hands, gave each other hugs, and then got the booze at night, and we try and get each other pissed as we could so they were cooked the next day, and and it just eventuated. So the Parksy and them were fabulous.
All righty, well, we've been chatting for nearly an hour now, so I might let you
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, look, I enjoyed it, and again, if you ever want to have a chat about the MSA perspective side of it as well, by all means.
Well, what sort of input do you have about that when it comes to sidecars?
Well, I'm the president, so we have a fair bit, but I've got some own view. But that's a story, you know. If you ever have any questions about it, or events and all that sort of stuff, organisations, by all means, just give us a call. I'm happy to talk an MSA. So I do. There's a motorcycle radio station on Coast FM, which I regularly get interviewed on and provide them updates and stuff like that. So that was last night as well. So I'm always happy to have a chat. So it's up to you, and I can go through the history of the ASA and all that sort of stuff down the track. But most importantly, it's up to you. I'm always open to have a chat, and if you want to know anything, just let me know. Yeah,
well, I'm just trying to do whatever I can to help promote the sport.
And you're doing a great job, mate, especially with some of that social media stuff you're doing. It's an absolute credit to you, mate, so well done, and thank you for that.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I just love it, and I want everyone else to be able to experience it, and I don't want it to die out, or, you know, you get a bit worried when there's not many bikes rocking up to events and stuff, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, so obviously you're doing a fabulous job for the ASA, and I thank you for it. I mean, as I said, I'm president for 13 odd years and life member, and I love it. I still race everything I race under the ASA. So to see people like you and the young people coming on board like you and helping out is just incredible, because I know they're really struggling. They really are struggling. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think, because my girls are 4 and 5, or the one's just turned 6, and they have a little sidecar, and I want them to be able to still have the opportunities there. You know, I don't want it to just fizzle out and then they don't get the opportunity to ride. And, you know, you feel sorry for the kids. You know, there's a few kids around with the sidecars, and without the ASA events, they can't ride because they can't go to do road trials until they're 16.
Yeah, well, there's a catch-22 as well. So you got to get the bikes out there from seniors, because they'll bring their kids and they'll buy the mini bike. They'll buy the mini bikes. We just got to stop making these events so hard to try to attract some people to come along, and that's all it is. It's great fun, but it's survival, and the club's also got to think about other ways to survive. You know, maybe opening up and having a different disciplines. So because don't forget, there's speedway sidecar, road racing sidecars. None of them have a club.
Yeah.
Motocross sidecars have a club.
Yeah.
In Australia, but none of those have got clubs. They've got their individual clubs that look after their disciplines. But with those, the ASA can certainly benefit from taking those disciplines, other disciplines underneath their umbrella to organise events for them as well. So it's always been a thought of mine over the years. But anyway, that's a tale for another day. So you've been wonderful. Thank you so much, Natasha.
Thank you so much for chatting with me.
See you, mate. Bye.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Sidecar Spin. Thank you to Rocky for jumping on. I know he's a very busy man. And just a shout out to everyone for your support so far. I've had so many positive messages and comments on all my social media. So yeah, thanks guys for the support. Means a lot. And if you ever have any feedback on making it better or anything, any questions or anything you want me to ask the guests, then please let me know. Cheers. See you soon.